Hello, hello, and welcome back to Horizon Zero Dawn. And in this series, we will follow Aloy on her quest to join and rise up through the Hunter's Lodge. We have a number of hunting grounds to cover as well. So we're going to pick up where we left off on the last episode, and we have just taken care of a load of glint hawks. And we now need to make our way back to Meridian and the Hunter's Lodge. And we need to speak to Tamara and Aziz once again. And from there we will then find out what is next required of us. So hopefully it's nothing too difficult. We are now fully pledged to the lodge. And we have our sponsor in Tamara, or I really can't say her name. Some of the names in these are quite tricky because they're very similar to real words and real names, but they're quite different in some ways. So I'm just going to continue to call Tamara Tamara, and as is. So here we are at the Hunter's Lodge. We're going to make our way up the stairs, and we're going to go and speak to Aziz, hand over our trophies if we have any, and find out Wagwan in the next stage of our movement up through the ranks here.
Talana, always a pleasure. I see you've brought your pet.
Greetings, Sunhawk. I hereby sponsor Aloy of the Nora for membership in the Hunter's Lodge.
No! Look at her! She's lowborn, a savage. This is beneath even you, Talana.
She has fulfilled the requirements, and Sun King Avad decreed the lodge should be open to all. Would you like to take it up with him?
The word of the Sun King is indeed law. Even though it will bring ruin to the lodge, so be it. Do you, Aloy of the Nora, pledge to act rightly and nobly when in service to the Lodge all the days to follow?
I do.
Members of the Lodge, even though Tarkus is barely cold, I present to you Aloy of the Nora. Member and Thrush, what say you all?
To the hunt!
Sponsoring an outlander. While you make meaningless gestures, I'll be finding Red Maw.
The Hunter's Lodge admits women and savages now. Does tradition mean nothing anymore?
This is a good day.
I know why I hate Assis. Why do you?
My family has always boasted members in the lodge. My father and brother were both hawks. Assis let their sacrifice be forgotten.
What sacrifice?
They died in a massacre. They should be honored as hawks. Instead, Assis will not let anyone mention it.
What happened in the massacre?
King Duran's paranoia knew no bounds. He sent thousands of innocents to die in the Sun Ring. When the Hawks of the Lodge called for him to stop the slaughter, he threw them in the ring too. Yet when the machines attacked the condemned, more Hawks leapt into the ring to defend them. And my father and brother were among them.
I'm so sorry. What happened to the men in the Sun Ring?
They died fighting. If you wish to hear the story, Legan can tell it better. He saw it with his own eyes. I did not. The morning of the massacre, my father told me to meet him outside the city. He told me they were planning an escape. I waited for hours until a message came from my father. I had to leave the city. So I fled when I should have fought by his side.
He didn't want you to die with them.
Nor would he want their names forgotten. Especially by the man who benefited most from their deaths, Assis.
How did your family come to be members of the Lodge?
Karja noble houses have sent sons to the Lodge for generations. Because they needed another place to lord over the commoners. I want to change that. The idea that someone is worthy or not by virtue of birth alone. Everyone thinks they have me pegged as soon as they hear Talana Khan Padish. I hate that.
I understand. My whole life I lived as an outcast from the Nora. They would have been the first to say I wasn't one of them. Yet as soon as I leave the sacred lands, everyone calls me Aloy of the Nora. It should be Aloy despite the Nora.
I didn't know. I'll remember that.
What's Redmaw?
Few have seen it. A thunderjaw marked by years of battle. Some say it still bears the marks of over a dozen hunters on its flank. How many it has trampled along the way, we may never know. When members go hunting and never return, we often blame Redmaw. But to me, it's more than legend. It's the only machine that will unseat Assis. My sponsor nearly had it, but he didn't make it.
I'm sorry.
Tarkus sponsored me out of loyalty to my family. He was my last link to them, besides the Lodge itself. I have to unseat Assis. Now that you're a Thrush, you should improve your reputation. Why don't you hunt down a Thunderjaw and a Stormbird?
You want me to go trophy hunting?
You're not just any Thrush. You're mine. And you better make me look good.
But what about Redmaw?
I will find him. And when I do, I expect you to be there.
I suppose it's time to go back to work.
So we have to acquire ourselves a Stormbird trophy and a Thunderjaw trophy. The Stormbird will be a bit formidable. There is a nice and easy way to take down a Thunderjaw. So, which shall it be first? I know. What we're going to do is we're going to head off to the next of the hunting grounds. This will be the third of 5. And we are going to acquire ourselves 3 more, hopefully, Blazing Suns. And once we have all 15, we can return to the Hunter's Lodge and upgrade our weaponry. So we just need to find the Keeper. Ah, there you are. Hello, sir. I'm here to take the trials.
Aren't you a little out of your way, Nora? Your sacred lands don't extend this far.
I go where I like. What do you do here?
I'm the keeper of these hunting grounds, which means, of course, that I'm the local representative of the Hunter's Lodge. To be more specific, I oversee the leverage trials here. Not that a vagabond Nora has any chance at passing them.
You might be surprised.
I doubt it.
So how'd you wind up here?
I didn't wind up here. It's an honor. I don't expect you to get it, but I'm well regarded at the Hunter's Lodge back in Meridian.
So much so that they sent you out here to pitch your tent in the wilds?
Are you going to take part in a trial or stand here prattling at me?
Tell me about the trials.
These hunting grounds offer the leverage trials. They focus on gaining an edge by leveraging machines against each other. You might, for instance, take a weapon from one machine and use it on another. It's hard, but the firepower is often worth the risk. Select a trial, and I'll tell you what to do. For this trial, you must use the cannon on a Ravager's back to take down other machines. You can shoot the cannon off, or use that special spear of yours to take control of the Ravager and make it fight for you. Oh, and here's a special tip. Try using tear blast arrows on Ravager cannons. They'll knock them off in one hit. And so, it's time to begin.
So we need to take down a Ravager and a Thunderjaw. using the Ravager's weapons or turning the Ravager against the Thunderjaw. Now the easiest way will be to remove the cannon, and again, as the Keeper suggested, we will be using the Tear Blast arrows, as they are highly effective at removing components, just like that. I don't think we actually got the cannon, and we almost certainly got it that time. So once we have the cannon, we're just going to take care of the Ravager here. We can now take on the rest of the machines.
I'll take this.
So a few nice items collected there. The only thing we haven't raided at the moment is the Thunderjaw. And that. So we're going to quickly run up, loot the Thunderjaw and run for cover, because we have just upset the other Ravager, although he was on his way to find us. So we have our first Blazing Sun. You alright, mate? Chill. It's only a Tear Blast arrow. You've survived worse. So once we make it up here, we will get our, as I said, our Blazing Sun trophy, and we can move on to the next trial.
I can't believe it. You've earned a Blazing Sun on the first try. I know who you are, girl. The Nora who can control machines. So I've got a trial just for you. This trial requires you to override Ravagers and get them to fight against a Thunderjaw. But if you can't control Ravagers yet, you're not ready for it. For this trial, you must use the Thunderjaw's cannon to destroy Ravagers. You can shoot the cannon off, or use that special spear of yours to take control of the Thunderjaw and make it fight for you. Oh, and you may want to use Tear Blast arrows on the Thunderjaw's cannon. One hit will knock it right off. Good luck. You'll need it.
So it turns out we do not have the control abilities for the Ravager, so we will have to come back to that challenge another time. In the meantime, we now have to take out a Thunderjaw, remove one of its weapons, and take out the two Ravagers with the Thunderjaw's weapon. Now this is quite easy as it happens. Removing the Thunderjaw's weaponry is very simple. There's one on each hind leg. So there we go, component removed. We're going to run in and grab it and take out all of the machines. So that was a lot of fun and nice and easy. We're going to make our way back up to the Keeper without being killed by the Thunderjaw, hopefully along the way. And we're going to collect our second Blazing Sun.
I can't believe it. You've earned a Blazing Sun on the first try.
I'll be going now.
Uh-huh.
So as I said, we're going to have to go and dig into a few of the calderas to get the skills we require. So in the meantime, we're going to continue on, and we have been tasked with retrieving a trophy from a Thunderjaw, who you can see just up ahead of us here, and we already know how to take out a Thunderjaw. So we will do that before moving on to the Stormbird trophy.
There's more than the odds.
So, as predicted, the Thunderjaw was no match for the little girl. So with that taken care of, we have one more trophy to collect, and that is all the way down in the bottom of the map here. So we're going to jump as close as we can, and we'll be hoofing it from here. So our next trophy will be a Stormbird, and that is the larger of the flying machines, and this can be quite a formidable machine to go up against. If it gains enough height, it can just rain down what is electrical weaponry on you whilst remaining completely out of range of any of your weapons. So all you can do is dodge and run until it decides to come closer. But if we can catch it early enough, before it gains any height... Hello, boyos. Was you lying in wait for me? Oh, you were robbing this guy, were you? Oh dear. Oh, one of them's still alive. Where are you? Oh, you're over there. And off you go. Oh, right, okay, have that. So as I was saying, if we can get to the Stormbird and capture it early enough while it's low in the air, we can use the rope caster and we can tie it down, and then it becomes a lot less formidable. It's still difficult to eliminate as it is heavily armoured, but it is much easier when it's not flying around a mile up in the air. So here we are at the Stormbird area, and if we have a good look around up in the sky somewhere, there he is. So he's already up quite high, so we may have to get his attention with some arrows before we switch to the rope caster. But he may be in range. We'll give it a go. This is relatively a short range-ish weapon, and it looks like we may need him to be a bit closer. So that is our Stormbird trophy acquired. So all that's left for us to do is to go back and speak to our sponsor, Talana. I think I've actually got her name right finally. So we're going to make our way back to the Hunter's Lodge in Meridian, and we are going to present our trophies to Aziz. So we're going to jump to Meridian as quickly as we can. We do have to walk the rest of the way, because we can't just walk straight into the Hunter's Lodge. And everywhere on this map is a massive distance away. This is a huge map. If we were to run everywhere, it would take days. And I have done it. In my very first playthrough, I didn't bother with the campfires I wanted to explore, and it took me weeks and weeks to just find my way across the map. So here we are back at the Hunter's Lodge, and we are about to present our trophies to the Sunhawk, and we will then find out what is required of us next.
No Assis either. Maybe Lagan knows where they are.
You have trophies? I can hang on to them until the Sunhawk returns.
Where are Assis and Talana?
Assis received word about Red Maw and rushed out. Talana found out a short time later and had to follow.
They both went alone?
Assis left without his thrush. Talana did as well. Though I saw some outlanders follow after her.
I wouldn't put it past Assis to try something underhanded to get the kill. Where have they gone? I have to help if I can.
You might be right. They've gone southeast, headed for the spear shafts. You'd better hurry.
So it looks like it's time to take on Redmaw. We're going to leave the story there for now and pick it up again in the next episode. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.